So our maintenance build approach is an end-to-end proven process that we've built up of decades of doing these things. So you identify the equipment, you work out what it is, where it is, you identify the equipment criticality, so how important is it to you and your business? Does it require performance standards against it, things like that, any legislative requirements. You then look at the equipment strategy, so how are you going to maintain this piece of equipment? What variations have you got on certain things with makes and manufacturers and model numbers that may need a slight change to it? And then once you've got your strategy agreed, or it might be actually to run it to failure, which is absolutely legitimate. Might drive your sparing strategy a little bit, but legitimate strategy to run things to failure. And again, is things condition monitoring? Are they following up predictive maintenance, for instance? These things are all decided once you know what the equipment is and how important it is to your business. You then move on to, once you've got your strategy settled, how are you going to do that task? What's the detailed task instruction for the either the vendor or for the technician to carry out that task? What do they need to record? What values need to put in place? What settings are involved? These things are important to make sure are recorded inside and repeatable against those tasks that require those locations that require those tasks. Also in that area we would put in crafts and durations, whether it's online or offline tasks, and put all those work execution parameters inside the tool for load to the CMS. Once you've got those things in place, you then move on to materials against the equipment itself. What materials are required, what bill of material, what's the breakdown, is it just a single line that's a replacement, or do they have parts to it? And if so, what are those parts and how many do you need, and things like that. And then you can attach those BOMs to the planned maintenance routine you've ascribed. And then after that, once you've got all these things in place, you can be looking at optimization, where you're looking at routes for doing things like lighting circuits, or testing of fire and gas detectors, for instance. You want to put them in routes by the level or by room. And then you're looking also at nesting job plans and things like that. There's also suppression to ensure you're not if you've got a sequence of events like a 3 month, 6 month, 12 month, 24 month, you're not having work orders fire more than once and doing things twice, which means you then need to go into your system and cancel them. All these things can be automatically set up. We want to think about that at the optimization stage. Also, there's packaging of equipment as well. It can be pulled. If a pump's going down, for instance, do we do some service on the gearbox and the motor at the same time, and any other auxiliary equipment. Also, any environmental constraints, things like that. If you've potentially got any normally unmanned installation, you may want to bundle things together. You might have harsh winters, you might have very hot summers. You may want to be in a position where you can look to concentrate your work effort in certain times of the year. We can do all that things with level loading and smoothing of your maintenance burdens.